A clash of Florida ACC teams. Miami goes to Florida State. Huge ACC clash. Florida State is trying to bounce back from their loss at Virginia. Miami is trying to stay undefeated. And Miami finds himself up 28-3 before Florida State makes a late-game run and gets it close, but they do end up losing. Miami wins the game 28-22. Thoughts on this game, guys?
Yeah, I think the turning point was when you had the Florida State tries to get tricky. Tommy Castellanos looks to the sideline, claps, turns, catches a snap, immediate pass rush. I mean, Miami, they stayed ready. It was actually really impressive by Miami defenders because Florida State goes into that, I'm going to look to the sideline, get the new play call thing. They go for the trick play, and Miami is just immediately all over it. They get like 2 or 3 guys to Castellanos. He has to step up and just heave a bad ball that's intercepted. And then Miami, with that, turns around and runs their own trick play. They run the flea flicker for a touchdown. And then I don't remember what they go up, but I mean, maybe
that was to put them up
14-3,
I believe.
Put them up 14-3.
14-3. And I think that was a really unfortunate because it was 4th down for Florida State.
Yep.
You could punt there, put your defense back out there, give them a good field position, kind of take advantage of the field position battle. Instead, Miami's got the ball at the 50.
It was 3 of those really big momentum swings. All 3 of the Florida State turnovers were bad in that. In the first one, like you said, they are faking get the second play call. Tommy puts in his
puts his name in the hat.
He puts his name in the hat for worst interception of the season by a college quarterback. You just can't.
It's low. It's at the bottom of the hat, but it's in the hat.
You're picking one at some point. Like when we get to the end of the season,
we'll do a highlight reel.
You're
we'll
unveiling a top of the season.
We'll reveal the top 10 worst picks of the season or something. I don't know. But I like that. Yeah, he puts his name in the hat, and then flea flicker touchdown. Miami up 14-3. Then you have the awful fumble, in my opinion, where running back, it wasn't a peanut punch or a chroma. It's not a peanut punch. The defender just reached his hand in there and just kind of swiped at it barely, and he fumbles the ball. Just like not protecting the ball. The ball was, Florida State has the ball at midfield. They're driving. It's the first play of that drive after they won the field position game. And then Miami would score a touchdown immediately after that, but it gets called back on an illegal shift play. But it's a huge momentum swing again. And then the other one was another really bad Tommy Castellanos pick. In plus territory again. Miami scores a touchdown later. So I'll let you continue, Sanders. But the momentum swings, there were 3 of them. All 3 of the turnovers really hurt Florida State for much of the night.
No, that was my big point. And then my second point for Miami is it bothers me on Twitter when people don't not apologize, but own up to being wrong. I was wrong about the Miami wide receivers. I said it after week 1, and I'm just gonna say it again because they had great nights last night. And Malachi Toney and C.J. Daniels. Was it Daniels that had the touchdown celebration where he does the?
He did it twice.
But
Yeah,
the second one was the one that went viral because it was the dagger. He does the Florida State Seminoles chant, and you can hear it over the TV broadcast. Malachi Toney, 7 receptions, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. C.J. Daniels,
both 40-yard plus receptions.
Yeah, Miami
5
explosive plays. Yeah, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, and then C.J. Daniels 5 for 78 with 2 touchdowns as well.
They had 47-yarder to Daniels on a post route, beautiful throw by Carson Beck. The flea flicker for 44 yards to Toney. The 50-yard touchdown for Toney that got called back to an illegal shift. You had a 40-yarder. You had a 22-yard run for Marion, and then the 24-yard touchdown, the dagger that went viral to C.J. Daniels. Miami, outside of that, wasn't necessarily great offensively. They just hit literally every single one of their deep shots down the field.
Realistically, you look at a lot of the numbers for this game, and it looks pretty evenly matched up, but it's just the stuff we brought up in the explosive plays and the turnovers that cost them, which, I'm going to toot my own horn here, but I feel pretty good about my key points for the game because it was get Toney and C.J. Daniels involved, and then also if Tommy has to pass the ball a lot, he's going to put the ball in harm's way. And he threw 45 passes. He was 25 for 45, and we talked about his turnovers. So it's not his game. And I get the Miami defensive line is just that good. I mean, Hakeem Messidor and Ruben Bain are probably the best. Not probably. They are the best pair of edge rushers in the country. It's no debate. It's a tough test. But that's just a lot to ask of Tommy Castellanos, so I'm not surprised it didn't work out for them. But it doesn't really feel like a game Miami dominated, just play in and play out, because they didn't.
Yeah. Y'all know Malachi Tony's only 17?
I did.
Let's not forget
I
that.
knew he was a true freshman. That's all I knew.
Yeah, he's only 17.
They haven't.
And yet
was
he's
that
not-
mentioned on the broadcast at any point.
He might have
Yes.
reclassified, I think.
It was,
Was it mentioned like Ryan Williams got
No.
mentioned?
not as
last
much,
year? Okay.
which bothers me
yeah, it bothers
because
me
I
too.
hated how much Ryan Williams was
Yeah.
mentioned. Every time he was targeted.
Yeah.
Only 17. Only 17.
The 17-year-old
And I just
instead of calling
yeah.
him by his name.
And so now the running
Stuff
joke
like that.
now the running joke with my family is every time he catches the ball this year, we're like, did you know that he was only 17 last year? Only 17. Can you imagine? Anyways, Malachi Tony is also only 17, also having a great season.
He's so fast.
Grading out, I believe, is the best wide receiver on the team right now. So, yeah, best wide receiver on the team, 84.8 receiving grade.
Yeah,
So-
he reclassified.
Yep.
So he should be playing high school ball right now.
Mhm.
He should be playing on Fridays, not Saturdays.
Yep.
But that's just not the case. Is his brother actually Kadarius Toney?
I was about to ask that. There's no way.
I couldn't tell you.
Because I looked it up, but and I'm getting things that say yes, but it's also sources that I'm like, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
gonna
like Miami burners.
trust.
I can get the
this.
Colts at -6 versus the Cardinals. Oh my God. Thank you.
Well, he is not related,
Okay.
but he does have an NFL connection.
Only other Tony I can think of is Tyler Tony from Dude Perfect.
Well, that would be.
that would
Wait,
make,
Tony's
that would make
father is
sense,
former
too.
wide receiver Antonio Brown, but not that Antonio Brown. The Brown that played for the Buffalo Bills in 2003 and the Redskins in 2004 and 2005.
Wow, that's crazily misleading.
Yeah. That's also what I was trying to look for because I saw it pop up earlier that his dad was Antonio Brown, but I was like, well, that can't be true.
It can't be true.
It could be.
No, Antonio Brown's 30.
No, he's only 30.
I think he's just into his 30s.
Even if he's like 32, it's not. But also, like, we would have heard that.
Yeah.
We would have known if
Antonio
he was
Brown's
the
37.
son. Okay.
37.
Yeah.
So
does-
just
so
say-
it's possible.
It's
It
very
is
possible.
no, it's not. It's not.
But-
well, he would have had a kid at 20.
yeah, but no, it's not because
we would have known.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would have
We
known
already
if he was the son of
cross-checked
Antonio
it. We
Brown.
know-
37.
He'd be playing at
I thought he was
Central
old. When you were
Michigan
telling
right
me he's
now.
only
Holy
30,
fuck.
I was like, wow,
Yeah, that is nuts.
37.
It's
Whatever.
another big win for Miami. I will say I still don't really trust their late game stuff. I mean, Florida State goes on the big run. They score 19 unanswered.
Yeah.
So I think I've said on this podcast before, I still feel like Mario Criswell may cost them a game at some point. He just kind of gets conservative.
Well, you want to see him play from behind, which
Yeah,
it's
fair.
now some great teams just never play from behind, a la the Eagles.
Yeah.
But they have not played from behind at any point this season. In fact, they did not trail in the Notre Dame game. I would assume they did not trail against Bethune, Cookman, South Florida. I know they didn't trail against Florida.
They did trail a little bit in Florida State, but it was by
and they
3
trailed
in the
by
first quarter.
3. So that's the first
That's
time
not
they've
really
been
playing
trailing
from
all
behind.
season. They won't be tested. I don't expect them to. But like I was saying on the car ride, they are going to have to really be ready because they are about to go on a bye week. They had a bye week before the Florida State game. And then they will play 7 weeks in a row, including the last 2 at Virginia Tech, at Pitt, which are both cold weather games at that point in the season. And then for them, God willing, they make the ACC championship game. They will play an 8th game in a row, also on the road. And North Carolina, that game is usually cold and bad weather for the ACC championship. So they got to gear up and really get ready after this bye week. And then it's 2 months
Yeah.
all the way to try and be in a good spot for the playoff. And for them, they can't have the slip up like they had last year because that's what cost them was the slip up against Georgia Tech. And because you're playing ACC schools, that loss looks a lot worse than it does if you lost to Florida like Texas did this weekend. So they've got to be ready, and they've got a long stretch ahead of them. And I guarantee we'll see them play from behind at some point.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we were
I'm
just
sure.
talking about how big play centric their offense is. That's a lot harder to do in like Virginia and North Carolina when it's sub 30 and late November. So we'll see how the offense handles being on the road later into the fall.
100%. But huge win for them.
Yeah.
Regardless, I don't want to end on that bit of a downer. Massive win. Same for we talked about with Virginia. That was the hardest game left on their schedule, and they've passed the test. So shout out to them.